Hi, Jen here from Jen Michelle Coaching, and today I want to talk about understanding victim consciousness. Victim consciousness is something we can all get stuck in. Why is this happening to me? Why do I have to experience this? Why is life so hard for me? We can feel just like a victim to all these external occurrences. And before you know it, we are just weighed down, disempowered, and just in a negative, stuck state. So if you can relate to this, I want to talk about 3 ways in which you can really begin to break this form of thinking and move to a more empowering, just free level of support for yourself. For those of you new to my channel, I would love to invite you to subscribe. I release a video weekly. Number 1. When we're in victim consciousness, our attachments are often leading, right? There's a lot that's unprocessed. It's an invitation for more of that shadow work, right? Bringing light to the darkness that lives within. Maybe we grew up in an environment where we just weren't really safe to process or to say how it is that we feel. As a mother, I've got 2 boys, and I'm really mindful of that because there's so many things that I had to reprocess as an adult that I want them to really embrace about themselves and recognize are normal human emotions. One of those being jealousy, right? So I was never really allowed to feel jealous. Like if I did, it would immediately go into shame. And I had great parents who were well-intentioned, but my jealousy would go into shame very quickly. And so one way in which we can heal some of the unprocessed things that maybe at one point in our lives we didn't feel safe is to really let ourselves know, and in my case, my children, jealousy is a very normal emotion. It's kind of pointing us, it's kind of showing us what we want, or, something that lives inside of us that needs our attention or that needs our awareness. But it's a very natural and normal emotion, and it's okay to feel it. Be compassionate with yourself. It's more when we bury it and pretend it doesn't exist that it's going to show up later in unhealthy realms, such as like an ego projection, or, oh, she thinks she's all that, or da 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 da, because it's living inside of us unprocessed. But if we own it and say, yeah, I do feel this way, or I do feel scared, or it is bringing this up within me, we start to bring light to the parts of us that we once didn't feel safe to feel. And so I consider that a really sacred component of parenting, but it's also a really sacred component of inner child healing, like letting yourself feel the things that you were told were bad or shameful and loving yourself through it. This is a very, very powerful way to stop feeling like a victim and recognizing that you can transmute these energetics that live inside of you and take this massive heavy suitcase off your back and live life on totally different terms. Number 2, holding a victim mentality. This is where we don't recognize that we're subconsciously thinking that everything is happening to us versus sort of for us, right? Where that driver cut me off, or, they're out to get me, or these people are against me, whatever it may be, right? This mentality where nothing is going our way versus that deeper recognition of what maybe is this trying to invite in or show me. So let's say you get cut off in traffic. Is it inviting you to consider a different level of patience, or that you have a different way of viewing it, and to really sort of move into your body and to slow your rhythm down, slow your pace down, and to look at things from a different lens. Life is really an invitation in this way. I recognize with triggers that if someone says something that offends me or that activates me, that's because there is a certain component or a certain part of me that believes that to be true. Otherwise, it would just roll off my shoulders. And so it is pointing out to me where I need to go in and look at something on a deeper level. What they said or did may not have been okay, but I am responsible for what's going inside of me and understanding that. So can I look at life from that more empowering space of really being in ceremony and recognizing that the things that occur in my life are for my evolution and for my growth and for me to reach my full potential. And when I look at life from this more empowering perspective, the rest tends to follow. We can kind of start to take things in stride, and we start to look at things from a much more empowered perspective, and we release more and more of that victim consciousness that leaves us feeling terrible at the end of the day anyway. Number 3, your willingness to just show up is everything. Right? When we just show up and we're willing to do something differently, when we are willing to step into the unknown, when we drum up enough courage to just put ourselves out there and honor our intuition, the rest tends to just follow, right? Because I've talked about this before, right? If we are standing there expecting good things to happen, but we're not willing to really show up until the evidence is presented, we are going to be waiting a lifetime. But when we're willing to say, okay, like this lives in me and I am going to take these steps, even though it is terrifying, and I am going to love myself and hold the hand of that little girl inside of me through it, when we can do this, God, source, universe, whatever spiritual practices are important to you in your life, those doors just begin to blow open because we are beginning to take these steps to have that courage to initiate versus demanding that all the circumstances be in place first. This really invites in that practice of surrender, and then we'll be able to surrender again and realize on a deeper level, we truly are provided for. And it's through this courage and willingness to break these deeply ingrained patterns that new possibilities open. But we have to be courageous. We can't just stand on the sidelines and say, when I feel ready or when I feel better, because we will be waiting a lifetime. So can we take those steps that allow us to truly begin to show up and empower ourselves on these deeper levels? This is a big one because it requires lots of courage. And many people believe that, you spend a lifetime preparing. But in fact, it's often the opposite, where you just gently nudge yourself into doing something new or showing up in a new way, and the rest kind of takes care of itself. So this is a really beautiful practice too that will support you in getting to know yourself and really healing any tendencies around just falling into victim consciousness or disempowered energies. I hope this video supports any of you who can relate to this. And if you would like to learn more about me, please check out my website, jenmichellecoaching.com. I invite you to sign up for my newsletter, Discovering Your Divine Feminine Essence. I have a beautiful guide there that you can download complimentary, and you will then be able to receive my bi-weekly newsletters from there that are packed with relationship, love, and life advice. Much love, and see you next week.